Hey movie lovers! Step into the quirky vibes of the 1981 comedy Lunch Wagon. Directed by Ernest Pinetoff, this film features a fun combination of humour, catchy music, and a bit of cheekiness, all set in the early 80s. The story follows three young women, Janine, Wanda and Marla, who start a mobile lunch truck business, aiming for independence and a chance to make some money. They cater to construction workers, but soon their success draws unwanted attention from rival caterers and bumbling crooks trying to sabotage their efforts. What follows is a hilarious showdown filled with wit and determination. Meet the cast. Pamela Jean Bryant as the clever Janine, Roseanne Caton as the charming Wanda, Candy Moore as Marla, the creative force of the group together. They navigate through the chaos with a slew of quirky construction workers, competitive caterers, and clumsy criminals. Lunch Wagon is all about slapstick comedy, memorable characters, and an energetic soundtrack featuring tunes from Missing Persons before they hit the big time. It offers a fun peek into the 80s culture, from fashion to slang. While it didn't break box office records, earning just over $1 million, Lunch Wagon has become a cult classic, loved for its campy charm and nostalgic feel. Missed it in 81? Catch it on Dailymotion via the link in the description. Dive in for a nostalgic journey or simply enjoy the laughs. Check out why Lunch Wagon is a cherished slice of 80s gold. Hey movie lovers, ready to dive into a classic? If you're all about the romantic comedies, then you've got to check out the 1981 flick Continental Divide. This gem, directed by Michael Apted with a script from Lawrence Kasdan, features the legendary John Belushi and the charismatic Blair Brown. It's all about laughs, love, and a city guy trying to fit into the great outdoors. So here's the scoop. John Belushi plays Ernie Suchak, a hard-boiled Chicago newspaper columnist who's made some powerful enemies with his bold articles. To keep him safe, his editor sends him off to the Rocky Mountains. Talk about a change of scenery. There he bumps into Nell Porter, played by Blair Brown. She's a tough, independent ornithologist who's all about eagles and not so much about city folks. Initial sparks? Not so much. Suchak doesn't know the first thing about nature, and Nell isn't buying his city slicker charm. But give it time, and these two opposite worlds start coming together, leading to some unexpected romance. It's a cool look at how love can pop up in the most unusual places and challenge us to grow. What makes this film a standout? For starters, John Belushi shows a different side of his acting chops. He's usually the go-to funny guy, but in Continental Divide, he brings a sweet mix of humour and heart. Blair Brown absolutely shines as Nell, bringing the perfect blend of strength and softness. Critics have given this one a thumbs up for its clever writing and sincere performances. While it didn't explode at the box office, it's definitely captured hearts over the years, making it a must-watch for rom-com enthusiasts. Plus, it's got a decent score on Rotten Tomatoes and IMDb, so you know it's worth the watch. Feeling nostalgic or just curious? You can find Continental Divide on most streaming rental sites like Google Play. Pop some popcorn, settle in, and enjoy this blast from the past that's all about bridging differences and finding love where you least expect it. Hey, movie buffs! Let's dive into the classic war film Das Boot, which translates to The Boat. Directed by Wolfgang Petersen and based on a gripping novel by Lothar Günther Buchheim, this 1981 release nails the intense experience of submarine warfare during World War II. It's all about a German U-boat crew and their perilous adventures in the deep blue. So who made this masterpiece? Wolfgang Petersen took on both directing and adapting the screenplay. The haunting tunes you'll hear? That's Klaus Doldinger. And the killer shots were framed by Jost Vacano. When did it hit theatres? Mark September 17th, 1981 in your calendar. That's when it first rocked West Germany. But wait, there's more. You've got a few versions to pick from. The original 149-minute cut, a beefier 209-minute director's cut, And if you're really into binging, there's a whopping 293-minute version from a TV miniseries in 1985. Here's the scoop on the plot. It's late 1941, smack in the Battle of the Atlantic. We follow the crew of U-96 as they set off to mess with Allied shipping. Life aboard is a mix of dull routine and high-stakes combat, showing off the tight bond among the crew, their moral dilemmas, and their mental stamina amidst all the chaos. What makes Das Boot stand out? It's got this raw, human side of warfare. It shows the German sailors as real people, not just faceless soldiers, each wrestling with their own fears and inner battles. Who brought these characters to life? Jürgen Prochnow plays the captain, Herbert Grönemeyer is our man Werner, the war correspondent, with Klaus Vennemann as the chief engineer and Hubertus Bengsch as the first officer. All set in a hyper-realistic U-boat, the film's a technical marvel, praised for making you feel like you're right there with the crew. Thanks to a full-scale U-96 replica and some nifty handheld camera work, it's claustrophobia and intensity at its best. Did it make a splash? You bet. Das Boot bagged 6 Oscar nods and is often hailed as one of the top war films ever. Critics and audiences alike gave it thumbs up, with a smashing 98% on Rotten Tomatoes and an 8.4 on IMDb. If gripping, character-driven stories are your thing, Das Boot is your kind of film. Plus, it's easy to find on streaming rental services, with several versions available to fit your mood. So grab some popcorn, settle in, and prepare for a deep dive with Das Boot. It's a cinematic journey you won't forget. Hey movie buffs! Dive into the captivating world of The French Lieutenant's Woman, a stunning British romantic drama from 1981. Directed by Carol Rice and penned by Harold Pinter, this film brings John Fowles' 1969 novel to life with a twist that'll have you glued to your seat. What's it about? The movie spins 2 tales side by side. Victorian-era story. Step back to 19th century England, where Charles Smithson, a biologist played by Jeremy Irons, is all set to marry a rich lady. But things get spicy when he meets Sarah Woodruff, aka the French Lieutenant's Woman, a fabulous Meryl Streep, who's wrapped in mystery and scandal because of her past with a French sailor. Modern day story. Fast forward to today, and we've got Anna and Mike, also Meryl Streep and Jeremy Irons, who are actors playing Sarah and Charles in a movie. As they depict their characters' romance, their own lives start mirroring their roles. Talk about drama. These stories weave together, making you question what's real and what's part of the film. It's a total mind bender. Why watch it? This film isn't just a love story, it's a puzzle. It tackles hefty themes like breaking free from societal chains, the wild nature of love and obsession, the clash between duty and desire, and how art imitates life. Rave reviews and accolades. Critics went gaga over it. Meryl Streep's knockout performance nabbed her an Academy Award nom for Best Actress. The film itself scooped up nods for everything from Best Adapted Screenplay to Best Costume Design, not to mention Jeremy Irons rocking the screen. Oh, and it bagged the BAFTA Award for Best Film. Still a favourite, marking its mark with $26.9 million at the box office, this classic hasn't lost its charm. With an 84% rating on Rotten Tomatoes and a solid 6.9 on IMDb, it's clear the film stands the test of time. Catch it on Tubi, craving a watch. The French Lieutenant's Woman is streaming for free on the Tubi app. So grab some popcorn, kick back, and enjoy a timeless piece of cinema that's sure to stir your heart and mind. Happy watching! Hey there, film buffs! Let's dive into the drama and scandal of the 1981 flick Mommie Dearest. This one's a biographical rollercoaster based on the explosive book written by Christina Crawford about her life with her adoptive mum, Hollywood icon Joan Crawford. Directed by Frank Perry, it's a peek into the glitz, glam, and not-so-glamorous side of show business through Christina's eyes. So what's the scoop? The film stars Faye Dunaway, who gives a stellar performance as Joan Crawford, battling to keep her star shining while raising her 2 adopted kids, Christina and Christopher. Young Christina is played by Mara Hobel, and Diana Scarwid takes over as she grows up. Joan's a tough cookie, chasing perfection and expecting nothing less from Christina, which sets off some pretty intense fireworks between them. One of the most unforgettable moments has to be the no wire hangers meltdown. Yeah, it's as intense as it sounds and has pretty much become a piece of pop culture legend. What did the critics say? When it hit the screens, Mommie Dearest stirred up a storm. Critics were all over the place. They couldn't get enough of Dunaway's intense portrayal, though some thought the film was a tad over the top. Despite its drama overload, it ended up as a cult classic, even bagging 5 Razzie Awards, including Worst Picture. Still resonating decades later, this film still gets people talking, whether it's the debates over its take on Joan Crawford's parenting or Dunaway's fierce portrayal. It's left its mark. Plus, references to Joan's extreme cleanliness and those infamous lines pop up everywhere in pop culture. Catch it now. Whether you're in it for the drama or just curious about this infamous slice of Hollywood history, Mommie Dearest is streaming for free on the Pluto TV app. Released on September 18th, 1981, the film raked in $25 million on a $10 million budget. And yep, opinion is still split. It's got a 48% on Rotten Tomatoes and a 6.6 on IMDb. Hey movie lovers, let's dive into the 1981 classic Raggedy Man, directed by Jack Fisk and starring the incredible Sissy Spacek alongside Eric Roberts, Sam Shepard and Henry Thomas. Picture this, it's World War II in a cozy little Texas town, and our main lady, Nita, played by Spacek, is doing her best as a single mum and switchboard operator. With the whole town keeping tabs on her every move, it's tough, but Nita's not one to back down. So, here's the scoop. Nita's world takes a turn when she meets Teddy, a charming sailor played by Eric Roberts. They hit it off, but this small-town romance isn't all smooth sailing. Gossip starts swirling, and let's just say not everyone's a fan of the new guy in town. Plus, Nita's got these 2 nasty drifters giving her trouble, ramping up the drama. Enter the mysterious Raggedy Man, played by Sam Shepard. He's a bit of an enigma, but turns out to be a crucial friend to Nita and her kids, especially when things really start to heat up. Critics can't get enough of this gem. Sissy Spacek seriously shines as Nita, bringing all the feels and some serious acting chops. The vibe of the 1940s is spot on, thanks to Jack Fisk's keen eye for detail. It's a mix of romance, suspense, and heart-tugging drama that's all about sticking together and toughing it out. Fun facts: did you know that Sissy Spacek and director Jack Fisk were married? Talk about a power couple. Plus, Eric Roberts shows off why he's destined for big things. And young Henry Thomas, yeah, the kid from E.T., is absolutely adorable. Though Raggedy Man didn't smash the box office back in the day, pulling in just $2 million, it's got a perfect score from critics on Rotten Tomatoes now and a decent 6.8 on IMDb. Want to check it out? You can find Raggedy Man on most major streaming rental platforms, including Amazon Prime. Go watch this heartfelt tale of resilience and see why it stood the test of time. Rich and Famous, a cinematic gem directed by George Cukor. In his final directorial venture, the acclaimed George Cukor brought to life the poignant and intricate drama of Rich and Famous. The 1981 film stars Jacqueline Bisset and Candice Bergen, who shine as Liz Hamilton and Mary Noel Blake, 2 college friends navigating the complexities of their intertwined lives. Plot overview. Liz, a serious writer dedicated to artistic integrity, and Mary Noel, a successful author of popular fiction, showcase the contrast between pursuing commercial success and maintaining personal authenticity. Despite differing paths, their lifelong bond faces tests of rivalry, ambition, and personal fulfillment, culminating in a touching reunion that forces both to confront unresolved issues and reassess their lives. Key themes. The film adeptly explores the nuanced dynamics of female friendships, the tension between artistic merit and commercial success, the impact of personal choices on relationships and self-identity, production and reception. Adapted from John Van Druten's 1940 play Old Acquaintance, Cuca's adaptation received mixed reviews at its release, with critics praising the lead performances despite noting its melodramatic elements. Although not a box office hit, the film has been recognized over time for its thoughtful exploration of women's professional and personal challenges. Availability Rich and Famous is available for streaming rental on platforms like Google Play. Dive into this classic and experience the masterful storytelling of George Cukor and the compelling performances of its leading ladies. Hey horror enthusiasts, looking for a blast from the past? Check out The Boogens, a 1981 horror gem directed by James L. Conway. This low-budget flick combines horror, suspense, and a dash of humor, perfect for fans of the genre. Set in a secluded Colorado mining town, the film kicks off as a long-abandoned silver mine is reopened, unleashing turtle-like creatures known as the Boogens. These monsters have been dormant for decades and are none too pleased with their new freedom, terrorizing the local population. Caught in the chaos are two young mine engineers, Mark and Roger, alongside Mark's girlfriend Trish and her friend Jessica. Renting a house near the mine, they soon find themselves in a fight for survival. The Boogens offers a mix of suspenseful monster reveals and a moody setting, featuring an isolated snowy mountain town and dark mine shafts. It initially received mixed reviews, but has since gained a cult following, appreciating its unique 80s horror charm. Fun fact, Rebecca Balding, who stars as Trish, married the director James Conway post-filming. The movie grossed an impressive $3 million on a budget of just $600,000. Today, despite its low rating on Rotten Tomatoes and IMDb, The Boogens holds a special place in the hearts of retro horror fans. Curious? You can rent it on Google Play, so why not grab some popcorn, dim the lights, and enjoy this quirky piece of 80s horror tonight? Hey movie buffs, have you ever caught Carbon Copy? It's this comedy drama from 1981 that's a real blast from the past. Directed by Michael Schultz and penned by Stanley Shapiro, this flick was the big debut for none other than Denzel Washington. Yeah, that Denzel. He stars alongside George Segal, and they dive into some pretty heavy stuff: race, privilege, and identity, all wrapped up with a good dose of humor and some really touching moments. So, what's the scoop on the plot? It's about Walter Whitney, played by George Segal, a big-shot white businessman living the high life in sunny California. His life is pretty much perfect. Fancy job, high society wife, you name it. But then, plot twist. Walter finds out he has a son, Roger Porter, yeah, that's Denzel Washington, from his past relationship with a black woman. When Roger shows up out of the blue, Walter's comfy world gets totally flipped. Roger's smart, he's idealistic, and he's about to school Walter on some hard truths about life and privilege. When it first hit the theatres, the critics were all over the place. They loved Denzel's performance, because duh, it's Denzel. But they couldn't quite figure out if they were watching a comedy or a drama. Despite the mixed reviews back then, these days, Carbon Copy gets a nod for its upfront take on race and as the movie that kicked off Denzel's stellar career. A couple of fun bits for you. This was Denzel's first major role, and boy, did he nail it. Michael Schultz, the guy in the director's chair, was rocking it as one of the few African-American directors in Hollywood back then. The film mixes absurd comedy with sharp social commentary, making it a standout in the cinema of its time. Carbon Copy might not be in everyone's list of top 10 classics, but it's definitely worth a watch for its bold themes and Denzel's breakthrough role. Released back on September 25th, 1981, it made a neat sum at the box office too. And guess what? You can now stream Carbon Copy for free on the Tubi app. Go check it out and see where Denzel started his incredible journey in Hollywood. Hey movie buffs, get ready to dive into a roller coaster of emotions with the 1981 flick Only When I Laugh. Directed by the talented Glenn Jordan and spun from the creative mind of Neil Simon, this comedy drama is all about blending laughs with some serious life stuff. Starring the fabulous Marsha Mason, the ever-spunky Christy McNichol, James Coco, and Joan Hackett. This film's got a little something for everyone. Here's the scoop. Marsha Mason plays Georgia Hines, a Broadway actress and a recovering alcoholic trying to put her life back on track after rehab. Things get a tad more complicated when her daughter Polly, played by Christy McNichol, moves in. Add to the mix Georgia's quirky friends, a gay actor wrestling with insecurities, played by James Coco, and a posh socialite with her own battles, portrayed by Joan Hackett. The movie beautifully tackles themes of addiction, family, friendship, and finding your own path, all while serving up some witty lines and heartfelt moments. The cast totally knocked it out of the park, grabbing Oscar nods for Marsha Mason, James Coco, and Joan Hackett. Plus a shout out to Neil Simon with a Writers Guild of America Award nomination for his awesome screenplay. Now, not everyone was head over heels. Some critics thought it felt a bit too stagey. But honestly, the knockout performances and Simon's sharp writing definitely made it a hit, pulling in over $25 million at the box office. If you're all about stories that mix up the funny with the feels, Only When I Laugh is your kind of movie. Released way back on September 25th, 1981, it's still making waves with a 63% critic score on Rotten Tomatoes and a decent 6.5 out of 10 on IMDb. Guess what? You can now watch Only When I Laugh for free on Tubi. So grab some popcorn, hit the couch, and get ready for some laughs and maybe a few tears. Trust me, it's worth your time. Hey film buffs, got a minute? Let's talk about something wild from the early 80s, Southern Comfort. Directed by the legendary Walter Hill, this thriller's got it all: tension, drama, and a whole lot of survival. The setup? Well, it's 1973, and we follow a ragtag team of 9 Louisiana National Guardsmen. They're supposed to be on a standard weekend training mission in the Cajun Bayou, but boy does it go south. Due to some massive communication fails with the local Cajuns, a slight mishap turns into a full-blown survival nightmare. Now, why should you care? Beyond the sheer thrill of watching these guys try to navigate through the deadly swamps, Southern Comfort dives deep. We're talking survival against all odds, crazy cultural clashes, and the kind of psychological tension that'll have you on the edge of your seat. Starring Keith Carradine as Spencer, the level-headed one, Powers Booth as the newbie Hardin, and Fred Ward playing the hot-headed Reese. These guys bring their A-game, making the conflict and drama even more intense. And let's not skip the eerie vibes from that swamp, captured perfectly by Andrew Laszlo's cinematography. Plus Ry Cooder's haunting music score, it's a cherry on top, boosting the bayou's moody feel. Critics dug it for its suspenseful vibe, and though it wasn't a box office smash right out the gate, it's picked up a cult following over the years. Now, it's a must-see for anyone into survival thrillers or just a fan of Walter Hill's gritty cinematic style. Released back on September 25th, 1981, this flick didn't rake in tons of cash, but it earned a solid spot in thriller history. And hey, if you're curious, Southern Comfort is rating pretty decently with a 78% on Rotten Tomatoes and a 7.1 on IMDb. Feeling intrigued? You can catch Southern Comfort streaming free on Tubi. Hey movie buffs! Dive into the dark alleys of 1940s Los Angeles with the gripping neo-noir crime drama, True Confessions. Directed by Ulu Grosbard and inspired by John Gregory Dunn's novel, this flick stars none other than Robert De Niro and Robert Duvall. Get ready for a roller coaster of family drama, shady dealings, and a moral tug-of-war. So what's the scoop? The story throws us into the lives of two brothers, Monsignor Desmond Spellacy, played by De Niro, a big shot in the Catholic Church, and Detective Tom Spellacy, played by Duvall, a tough-as-nails homicide cop. Things heat up when a murder case involving a young woman ties back to a corrupt developer who just happens to be a benefactor of Desmond's church. Talk about awkward family dinners. This movie doesn't shy away from the gritty stuff. Sketchy church and government bigwigs? Check. Brothers torn between family ties and doing what's right? Double check. Moral dilemmas with no easy answers? You got it. And let's talk cast. Alongside De Niro and Duvall, we've got Charles Durning, Cyril Cusack, Burgess Meredith, and Rose Gregorio turning up the heat. Critics had a lot to say about True Confessions. They couldn't get enough of De Niro and Duvall battling it out as the Spellacy brothers. While some folks loved the slow burn, others wished things moved a bit quicker. But hey, with its moody vibes and deep dives into tricky moral waters, it's definitely a must-see for those who love a good challenge. Released back in '81, this film did alright at the box office and has held up pretty well over the years, rocking a solid score on Rotten Tomatoes and not too shabby on IMDb either. Craving some vintage crime drama? True Confessions is waiting for you on the Tubi app. Check it out and see where you stand when faith and morals collide.